Yo, and welcome back to Real Japanese, and today we are going over special expressions part 1 because there's a lot of these little words and generic nouns and stuff that you can use to make special expressions in Japanese. But before we start, I'd like to promote the Patreon, www.patreon.com/maydaysan, and you can sign up on there for $1 a month, starting at $1 a month. I'm not trying to snake mans out here. To get quick quizzes for the Real Japanese series, articles. We also got a little bit of kanji buff on there as well, and a whole bunch of other courses starting at $1 a month. Support the channel, and you get a lot of fun Japanese resources coming up. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're talking about is there's a number of special expressions in Japanese that can be made with generic nouns. So these generic nouns are koto, tokoro, mono, kamoshirenai, and desho and dutto. Right? So you might have known these already. Koto, what do you think that means? Let's go into that. So koto is to say whether something has happened or not. Koto just means thing. And it's often used to talk about the past. So, この映画見たことある? Have you seen this movie? 見たことある? Yes, I have. It's basically this abstract idea that you hold this memory. You have the memory or you have the experience, the keiken, tangibly in your life, which is why it is technically a thing in an abstract way. So do you have the experience of watching this movie? Do you have the experience of drinking beer or something like that? That's basically how you have to think about it when you talk about koto in this sense. Tokoro. So this word means place, quite literally, since it comes from the word basho. I mean, not basho, tokoro. So it can be used as an abstract place, like a place in time. So I'm about to do it. So, for example, yaru tokoro da, right? Yaru yokoro da, yaru tokoro da should be tokoro. Yaru tokoro da. So I'm in the place and time where I'm about to do something. Then you have I'm doing it right now. Yatteiru tokoro da. I'm in the place and time where I'm doing it right now. I just finished doing it. Yatta tokoro da. I'm in the place right now where I just finished it. So we're putting this emphasis on this abstract time place, which is what tokoro belongs. So notice how these tenses are controlled by the verb before tokoro, not actually tokoro, because you're basically saying, I'm in the current place and time where I am about to, blah, 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 tokoro. I did it, tokoro. I am doing it, tokoro. I am not doing it, tokoro, right? So this is kind of like a kind of a little bit of a relative clause, and you'll see this pattern a lot in Japanese. So you have mono. So mono. So there's actually 2 different readings from mono. So you may see it in hiragana, of course, but it actually comes from mono, which means thing, and mono, which means a person with an assigned role. So while it does mean thing, it could also be used to emphasize something that is indefinite, right? You're so sure about it to the point where it's almost a real thing. Like it's almost tangible, even though it isn't. Hence mono. So it also carries properties from the previous no explanatory particle. So remember, like, why are you over there? Because muzakashi no da. Right? Because I am explaining. I got some explaining to do. Particle that we learned a while back. So, for example, 彼は元気だったの. He was so genki. 彼は元気だったもの. He was so genki, it was as if the genki had materialized into an actual thing that you could actually hold in your hands. 彼は元気だったもん. He was like unreal, like genki AF, right? So, mono, you can cut it down to mon. So you often hear this from girls who say this a lot. It's a very feminine kind of language. Of course, you can say it if you want to be edgy or you want to attract the girls because you like to talk with them, I guess. So then we're going to talk about this one, kamoshi tonight. We're going to be talking about maybe. So like other particles we will revisit, you'll notice that Japanese people use these a lot because they don't want to be assertive, right? So we have kamoshi tonight is a pretty low certainty particle. So you'll simply attach it to an end of a sentence. So super easy. あいつはすぐに来るかもしれない. That guy is coming soon on my face. あの人は学生かも. That person is probably a student, probably flip of a coin, he's probably a student. And それはきついかも. That's going to be a little tough, I think. It's going to be a little tight. It's going to be hard to do that. So you can see how you can just cut out shirenai and just put it into a casual and just leave it as kamo. You'll probably hear this kamo most for like friends and people who are comfortable speaking to you. Now we have dishou. So dishou expresses a fair amount of certainty. It's a polite way to say it. So we have you use this a lot, like a lot, and it is something you learn to use with just like how you feel when you're trying to express yourself, and you'll find that dishou is more of a kind of kung, like it's kind of an instinct. You got to use your instincts to use it. It's I don't know how to explain it. You have to, like, you'll just know. You'll know when to use it and when not to use it, because it is kind of like a small version of ne, of trying to confirm something. So it can be used like that, but it can also mean maybe in a way, perhaps as well. So for example, やめてって言ったでしょ? I'm pretty certain I said stop, didn't I? You can see how that nuance comes. It's like, I'm pretty certain. It's kind of like a rhetorical. It's a rhetorical, like, you know that you said it, but you just want them to confirm that. Are you certain that do you know that I said that? You understand that I did say that, right? I'm trying to confirm with you. I'm not certain that you know. So it's kind of taking this certainty kind of thing into the speaking partner, right? And then you also have like the normal version of it, which is just dishou. 今日は雨でしょ? Right? It's probably raining. I'm not certain, but it's probably going to rain today. If I'm looking at the clouds, or, I saw on the weather report the other day or yesterday or something, it's raining, isn't it? Right, so that's where that comes from. Right, so you can also use dishou to convert a certain assertive statement into something uncertain, which makes it polite. So we have コーヒーはいかがですか? How about some coffee? So that's a direct question, right? So do you want some coffee? Let's say you want to just be uncertain about it. You don't want to kind of impose on someone's opinion or someone's wants and desires and needs. So you're going to add some little bit of uncertainty spice in there. So コーヒーはいかがでしょうか? Right? How about some coffee that you probably may want? I don't know. I'm not too sure. That's basically kind of the function of this show, of kind of taking down your assertiveness and bringing it down just to be like, I'm not sure if you want coffee, but if you perhaps wanted some, it's right here. That's kind of what it becomes. So dutto versus dishou. So it's basically, dutto is just basically the manly version of dishou, and it can mean uncertain in a more like abstract kind of macro kind of way, like, people are, I wonder what people are thinking, like, みんなに何思われているだろう? Like, so what are people thinking, right? Dishou is a little bit more certain in that kind of sense, but dutto can be used for very, very abstract things and macro kind of topics. So, for example, これはうまい. This is delicious. 美味しいでしょ? It's delicious, isn't it? I told you so. I told you so was probably the best way to explain what dishou means in a nutshell. And you can kind of manipulate how I told you so can be kind of a little bit more flexible in different situations. And that's basically what it means, even in the past thing here. やめてって言ったでしょ? I told you so to shut up, right? So that could be kind of where it comes from. You just got to kind of be flexible with it. It's probably the most flexible thing. And this is why it's more of a it's instinctual kind of thing. Like, you have to really know just by feeling when to say it, and it comes with practice. Dutto is the same as dishou, but it is more masculine. It also shows the even higher level of abstract uncertainty, like we just talked about before. For example, 壁の外側に何かあるだろう? I wonder what's on the other side of the wall. Or there's something on the other side of the wall, I'm pretty certain. ところで、ジャンはどこだ? Oh yeah, where's John? あいつは死んだだろ? He's probably dead. It's funny too. You could also shorten dutto into, like, you can combine it into another verb. So like 言っただろ? So I said it だろ? So 言っただろ? You'll hear it in anime. 言ったろ? So like you'll just combine 言った and だろ together to be 言ったろ? So I said it, didn't I? So that's a little fun thing that you can like kind of look out for in anime. You hear it a lot. Dutto can be combined for that as well. But anyway, guys, that's all we got for today's episode of Relearn Japanese. Hope you enjoyed this crash course, and hope you enjoy the quick quizzes and everything that will be on the Patreon. Starting at $1 a month, quick quizzes, all that fun stuff for you guys to study off of, as well as a bunch of other courses. Support the channel. $1 goes a long way, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to be continuing to make some more content for you guys, and the Japan English course coming up. And I just recently got some new books, so we might be doing some more fun, abstract, experimental stuff here on the channel soon. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.